11:02, here we are. So, an update on our schedule for the rest of the term. Um, this course it coincides, the schedule coincides with the colleges, Georgia Northwestern Technical College, okay? I know you guys are at Sonoraville High School, but your schedule falls under the rubric of the colleges, okay, as this program is in partnership with the college, the class you all are taking. So what does that mean for you? Final grades are due to the college. I have no choice in this, okay? By the 13th of December, okay? This is the original schedule I had in mind. When I looked at our Blackboard a couple of weeks ago, just to kind of make sure I had all the dates in mind, terrible English. I had seen that our Blackboard shell was scheduled to close on the 18th, okay? But I noticed a discrepancy there. Well, wait, how is the course going to close on the 18th, yet final grades for the class are due 5 days before that on the 13th? So I got in touch with the high school coordinator and my dean and the online coordinator with the college, and they said that our class is, in fact, on track to end on the 13th. Okay, what does that mean? That means we are now at week 6, and we have 8 weeks in total. So this is week 6. I'll tell you about what's due in a second. Next week is week 7, Thanksgiving. The following week is week 8, the final week. You know what you have to do for your final essay. It's an MLA research essay on Sophocles' Oedipus Rex. And the prompt is the critical perspective number 10 on page 1228. This essay, just like your other research essays in 1101, Times Point 12 new Times New Roman 12-point font double space. This is going to be 4 to 6 pages and require 3 to 5 Galileo found scholarly sources, preferably academic journals. Okay, so you know what you have to do. Okay, what I would be doing now in preparation for this in 2 weeks is start looking in Galileo. Okay, first read the critical perspective. Okay, about that critic and what he says about what Sophocles is saying about the role of the gods and men and mortality and fate and whether we are playthings of the gods. So, of course, first you have to read the play, have an idea about it, engage with the play in some way. That's sort of the onus is on you to do that and to read and get going there. Read the critical perspective and then use that to guide your research. You guys have done research already. I would go look in Galileo, 3 to 5 sources. You should be able to find 3 to 5 scholarly sources and start using what you find to support your own response to that critical perspective. Your response to that critical perspective question is your thesis statement. Okay, and then you're using the research that you find in Galileo to buttress or support your thesis statement. 4 to 6 pages, 3 to 5 secondary sources. Okay, that's going to be due in a little over 2 weeks. 3 weeks from, well, today's Sunday. So that is going to be the 8th of December. All right, thinking ahead here. It's not too far ahead. I know Thanksgiving we turn off the switch and we got commuting and family and friends, and no different with me. I'm going home to New Orleans as well. You might be shocked to know that I have a life outside of of our class, as each of you does as well. But still, managing your time, scheduling your time, doing what you need to do by deadlines, not procrastinating. This is all part of the game of life. And growing up, young adults that you are, hey, you're in it. You're in the thick of it. So don't let anything slip, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind for a couple weeks ahead, because that's the end of the term. That's your final assignment, that final research essay, okay, as I've been saying over the past couple of weeks. Well, let's backtrack a little bit and talk about what's due for this week. It's your second literary analysis essay. Your first one was on Edgar Allan Poe's Cask of Amontillado, on one of the writing suggestions as to how the point of view, the first-person point of view, kind of affects how readers understand the culpability of a Montresor, and how that kind of influences readers' perspectives on the nature of the crime that he commits. Okay, I'll just say it. Some of you seem to, actually most of you in a certain regard, most of you, hardly anybody, maybe just a handful, had original titles to their essays. So your essay shouldn't be Literary Analysis 1, Edgar Allan Poe's Cask of Amontillado. Okay, well, duh. I know what you're writing on. You need your own original, inspired, creative title. Okay, a couple, maybe more than a couple. A few of us did that. Everyone needs to do that for this next essay on Shakespeare's Sonnet 29 on page 638. On page 639, there's actually a little mini explication / analysis that kind of tells you what the sonnet is about, by the way. You could, use that for some guidance, but you have to have your own thoughts and opinions on that. Speaking of, let me go ahead and read you the prompt. It is on your announcement for this week. Sonnet 29, I'm asking you in a 2 to 3 page essay in MLA format using textual evidence, meaning you need in-text parenthetical citations when you quote from the poem itself. And by the way, quoting lines of poetry is different in MLA than quoting lines of prose, okay? If you need to be refreshed, or if you don't know how to cite lines of poetry, visit our handbook, our MLA OWL handbook there, or you could consult our text, our portable literature text. I know that there are examples in there having to do with lines of poetry, but make sure that you brush up on how to cite lines of poetry, okay? Because I need to see direct quotations and or paraphrases in your paper, but I need to see in parentheses the lines that you have cited, okay? That's required, and you need a works cited page reflecting the textbook, okay? Not everybody did that for the first literary analysis essay, okay? So I expect this essay, even though the content, Shakespeare's no walk in the park, and his sonnets, especially sonnets, are what I like to think, metaphor I have for sonnet is, it's like I guess that's a simile, it's like a gem hardened over years, consolidated into this hard rock of an argument, really. A sonnet is an argument. It states a problem, it states a solution. Okay, so it's kind of a proposal with a solution in a way. Now it's done in a very artful, sumptuous way in terms of language and imagery and all of that. What we're focusing on here is form. A sonnet is a form. It is a certain structural way in which a poem is rendered, and there's not only a Elizabethan / English / Shakespearean sonnet. That's what this is. There's also the Italian sonnet, the Petrarchan sonnet. We're doing an Elizabethan sonnet, 14 lines. There's a rhyming couplet at the end of the line: A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Is the rhyme scheme for that, usually done in iambic pentameter. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Okay, and iamb is a stress that falls on the second beat. Okay, ba-ba, 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 ba-ba. Okay, so a lot of Shakespeare's poetry, especially his sonnets, are rendered in that way. So what I'm asking you to do is to keep all of this in mind: the form, the structure, the meter perhaps, And how do these formal devices, okay, how do they persuade the reader to adopt his thesis? Okay. So he has a point, he has a thesis, okay. There's a problem in this sonnet, but there's also a solution to it. What is his main idea? What is his main claim? What is his central contention? Okay, his problem that he's trying to solve. Okay, how does the way that the poem is rendered, the formal aspects, the rhyme, iambic pentameter, the fact that it is a sonnet, how is all this working in influencing the reader to believe Shakespeare's point? Okay, how is it an effective means of communicating the idea that he's trying to communicate? Okay, why is this sonnet form, especially effective in driving the speaker's point home in this sonnet? Okay, I have this written out for you in the announcement. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but it is in writing in the announcement itself. Okay, so that is our analysis essay for this week, asking you to consider the formal aspects of Sonnet 29 in using what you've kind of gained from reading it and appreciating the formal aspects to answer the question, how do they work to persuade, convince the reader to subscribe to Shakespeare's thesis? Okay. A sonnet is a mode of persuasion, I would say, an especially formal one. Okay, the sonnet is based on a particular form. It's not free verse. Okay, a sonnet has certain aspects to it. Okay, and these are all the hallmarks here in Shakespeare's Sonnet 29. Next week, Thanksgiving, okay, we know that we're busy and visiting with friends and family. However, there'll be a little something, maybe a journal or a blog. There is a blog this week, by the way. So if you want those points for that final essay, hey, you know how much of a benefit those extra points can be. So I would recommend participating. It's on the readings from last week. Lawrence, Hart Crane, William Wordsworth, Sylvia Plath, and Adrian Rich, the poems in the story that we did. So I do encourage you to participate in this week's blog, and next week I'll probably have a journal assignment. Okay, nothing to task you too much, but we have to have some activity week in and week out, even before the holiday. Okay, so read the announcement. You have your second analysis essay. It's all there on the Shakespearean sonnet. Don't go to sleep on researching for this final essay, guys, on Sophocles' Oedipus Rex. It's complicated, it's difficult, very thematically rich play, so I recommend that you guys get going and consider your thesis statement in the little time that we have left. Okay, and I am going to put a sock in it at that, and ask that you all have a great week. Keep working hard. Rally yourselves together here. Time is of the essence. It's quickly running out. Let's make sure that you are proud of what you've done this quarter. Okay, so I will see you next week, guys. Bye bye.